First off, I want to talk about Reese Witherspoon's cover of January's Glamour magazine. I mean, doesn't she look amazing?
Stunning.
Right?
Beautiful. Stunning.
Beautiful. But what I love most is the interview that she did inside. When asked what advice she would give her 23-year-old self, Reese said, all those things that you're worried about are not important.
Right.
You're gonna be okay. Better than okay. You're gonna be great. Spend less time tearing yourself apart, worrying if you're good enough. You are good enough.
Period.
I love that.
I love that.
Right?
So love that.
And after reading that, it made me think, like, I mean, what would I tell my 20-year-old self? Yeah. What would you guys tell your 20-year-old selves?
Oh, I've had a lot to say to the 20-year-old.
Stop giving it away for free.
Really?
No, I'm serious,
That's what
Lonnie.
you would really tell yourself?
Really?
What if Lonnie's serious?
Lonnie, I think I have the opposite opinion because, you know, like, I felt like when I was in my 20s, I was afraid to express myself and be myself because I was worried about everybody's, what they was going to say about this, what they was going to say about that. Is she dating too many people? I just feel like that is the time when you're supposed to get to know yourself.
Yep.
And how do you get to know yourself if you don't date and find out what you like and what you do not like? I'm not going to let nobody make me feel bad about dating 20, 30 men. That's my life.
20, 30 men. Okay.
I'm 20-something years old, right? So I date 3 guys. So all I got to choose from is 3 different personalities. They ain't enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know when I was younger, I used to worry a lot about just life, you know? I remember when I was 23, I had my first, like, real heartbreak.
Really?
I just knew, I was one of those girls, I knew I just wanted to get married. I knew I wanted to, you know, marry him. It didn't work out. So then I would always question myself, like, oh, man, you know, I want to get married. Am I ever going to get married? And now that, you know, I think about it now, it's like, yes, don't worry about that. I truly believe if you're meant to be married, it's inevitable. You're going to find the person for you. You don't have to worry about it. And I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. It doesn't matter what age. Just make sure you're marrying, you know, the right person. And more than anything, I've learned that worrying, even though it's easier said than done, it's a waste of time.
Right.
Enjoy the present. Enjoy the different seasons of your life because that's when you're able to enjoy it. It is going to be okay. You're going to be fine in the future.
Of course,
So
I
that's
was
what tell
exaggerating
myself.
when I said 20 and 30. I meant more like 10, 15. But no, I think I was so gung-ho into finding the one. I got engaged way too young to the wrong person, you know? And because I thought that I didn't want people talking about me, and the music industry is real small. Once you start dating a producer, now you kicking it for tracks. Lies. You know what I mean? But, but who I'm supposed to date, because who I'm supposed to meet? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just feel like I regret a lot of things about my 20s because I just would have let myself live a little, you know what I mean? And worry about my career and not worry about who I'm going to settle down with and who's going to think I'm good enough and who's going to think, you know, that I'm not a lady at the end of the day because I feel like I want to express myself and get to know myself. And there's nothing wrong with getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
That's
nothing
when you
wrong
should
with
get
it.
to know yourself, you know, in your 20s.
I think that's healthy.
Enjoy life. That's what I would say.
What would you say to your 20-year-old self?
Man, I think, well, one thing that really stands out to me now is that I didn't know that my family didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up until I started visiting other people's houses. So I remember, like, being in the Girl Scouts, and in the Girl Scouts, you'd have to meet at other people's houses, and when I'd go to their house, I'd look around and I'd be like, dang, each of one of you have a room of your own? Like, each kid had their own room?
Right.
And dang, your parents have one car each?
Yeah.
And then, like, opening up their cupboards and seeing, like, it was Cheerios, not what we have at home, Cheerios. Like the real brand snacks, you know, with boxes and stuff. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like, I never let, for 3 years, anybody come over to my house because I just was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that we had, like, 15 people living in a 3-bedroom home. We didn't have the brand name snacks. We had crazy huge blocks of cheese. And I pretended my mom was always, she's sleeping, or we're getting the house painted. And now, fast forward, I have what I call a home for myself, and it's nicely, beautifully decorated. But there's nothing like going home to my mom's because the memories and the home that she makes it, I'd rather be in my mom's little home than my own house. And now if I went back to my 23-year-old self, I would say, be proud of where you came from.
Man.
Be proud of that home. It doesn't matter what nice things you have. What's home is where the heart is. And my mom gave it that.
Well, Adrian, for you, that wasn't long ago, 23.
You
so
know what?
It was 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time, though.
That is. I would have told myself it's okay to say no.
Right.
Oh.
And I think in my 20s, I didn't know how to say no. I really wanted people to like me.
Right.
And I think I wanted people's acceptance so badly, whether it was in a relationship, things I did where I didn't know, or I was worried that, like, if I say no, they won't like me.
Right.
Right.
And
Or
I
you
wish,
missed the opportunity.
yeah, or that I would miss an opportunity. So even with work stuff, everything that came along, I'd be like, yes, because I always thought it would be my last opportunity. So I was very fearful. I worried a lot when I was younger. Now I just don't care anymore.
Right.
When 30 hit me, something happened where I said, I would rather be known for who I am and loved for who I really am
Right.
than do anything that doesn't make me feel good about myself.
Right. I think what you're saying is like, if I had to tell my 23-year-old self, I would say stop worrying what people think and stop
Yes.
trying to do what you think people and society say is right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I made a lot of mistakes when I
Yes,
was in my
child.
20s because I got married. I stayed as an engineer. I should have let all that stuff go, and I didn't. So I would tell myself, you know what? Stop worrying about what people think about you, because they not paying your bills no way.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's so true.
I have to say, the 30s, my 30s have been some of my best
Mine.
years.
Yes.
You have a lot to look forward to.
yes,
Yeah.
the 30s, woo.
I'm excited for you.
I'm
It's
excited.
amazing.
I think there's so much to look forward to, and that I'm sure that we'll end up in our 40s and all say what we would have told ourselves in our 30s.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going on. I think, we beat ourselves up about little things.
I would tell my 30-year-old self, stop eating so much bread.
Shut
It
up.
is just-
Lonnie.
It's just some
my
things.
God.
You
No,
gonna
but
look
yeah.
back and you be like, ooh, I could have not had some of that pizza.
Bread is just so good.
No.
Well, do you
It's
guys
delicious.
ever
I
remember
love
that
bread.
when you were younger, you thought you knew everything?
Yes.
Like you just think you have all the answers in the world. So what do you
Well-
guys think about those couples out there who think that they're ready for marriage?
Man,
Now, when we're talking about age, so we're talking about young age.
Young
like 18,
couples.
19, 20, 21.
yeah, when you first can legally get married. I mean, growing up in the church, I saw this so often because, no sex before marriage, and people wanted to have sex.
Girl, absolutely.
So people would be like, I'm 18. This is
get
who my
married.
boyfriend is. Well, then we're getting married.
Wow.
And I look back at that, and I didn't always make the right decisions, you know what I mean? And I'm so appreciative that I had a mom that said, whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing, you don't take another mistake and cover it with another mistake. Whereas, if I had sex before marriage, that's between you and God, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that's the person you have to marry because you gave yourself. You know what I mean? And old school mentality was very much that way when I was growing up. And I just look back now, and all those people are divorced today.
Wow.
What I love about my mom and dad growing up was the fact that they taught us the reality
Yeah.
of marriage. So I didn't want to get married at a very young age. She always said, Tamara, live your life.
Yes.
Find out who you truly are as a person, and find out, what you want to do. If you want to have a career, just do it.
Well, I think back, like, in the 1800s, even in the 50s and the 60s, it was a lot easier to get married.
It was.
Yeah, in the 1800s, because, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Twitter, so it was like, you gonna marry your neighbor that lived 3,000 miles away, or, you gotta ride a horse and buggy, so it was a lot easier. Seriously.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But now, it's a lot harder if you're younger and you get married, because you got a lot of competition out there. And this, I always tell you, you guys are lucky that you found somebody and that you're ready to settle down. Nowadays, when you're in your 20s, it's a lot harder to be, committed and not have that temptation.
Social media offers you so
Right.
many options. I mean, it's swipe left or swipe right.
Man, though.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
Right, what you say?
No, I was saying that my parents got married at a very young age. My mother was 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when she was 18, when you're growing up in that environment, your parents are telling you, wait, trust us.
Yep.
It's not that we regret you guys, but at the end of the day, I wish I would have gotten to know myself a little bit more as a woman and as a man. And then we come together, and then, we can have you all, because I turned into that girl. You know what I mean? I was 22 years old, looking for a husband. For why, I don't know. No, really, because I thought that was the pattern of life you were supposed to have. You're supposed to meet somebody, fall in love. I ain't never wanted kids, but, have some kids, and then, life begins. But, God really saved me from myself because I was with the wrong person. And when I was with the wrong person, it made me feel bad about who I was. And that's why I said I would tell myself I would date so many people at this moment because
everybody but him.
Everybody he made me feel so bad about having dreams, having goals. Ooh. And my dreams and goals was not the same as his. And because of that, he used to beat me down mentally and physically. But, it was just a really hard time for me. And the only reason why he got away with it then is because I did not know who I was. And I could not make the right decisions for myself because I didn't know where to go. Yes, I did have a real strong family background, but at that time, if you don't know who you are, you don't know where to go. So that's why I like to encourage all young ladies. I say it during my shows. I'm going to say it here. Get to know you. So you can make the best decision for you, so you can have the best life.
Now, what do you mean when you say get to know you? Because we always say that, but what is get to know you? What does that mean?
Well, I didn't know that mental and physical abuse was bad.
You thought it was okay for them?
I didn't know that.
And I've heard women say that. I heard women say, sometimes I need a slap across the head. I'm like, wow.
I never seen my dad do it. Don't get me wrong. I never seen it in my household. But for myself, I didn't know that. I didn't know that your man's not supposed to tell you, shut up, ugly. She look better than you. You ain't never gonna marry. I didn't know that. Tell me that.
Yeah.
And not only that, you guys, do you ever look back and think, I'm not the same person I was when I was 18 years old.
Not at all.
And thank God, I don't even like the same guy that I liked when I was 18, years old. There's so much growth to, what am I trying to say? To have. Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to understand because I'm still on your conversation, okay? And this relationship, because you and I have talked, but what made you realize, okay, this is wrong. It's time to get out of this? Okay, I got you.
Okay.
It just happens. It happened, I got you. And it's okay. Just take your time.
I honestly felt like I wasn't going to make it out alive. And I didn't want my parents to have to see me in that because the lie I was living was so long. If something was to happen to me, it would just be so shameful and it would be nothing that I could do to hide it anymore. And my parents did such a great job with us. I didn't want to have a shameful name on my family because of the decisions that I made. That's why I said you have to get to know yourself because I didn't know any better. That when the first time things started to look so gray and so damper and so wrong, it was time to go. Some girls don't make it out. I made it out. So, and that's all I have to say about that.
It doesn't matter how you're raised because some people find themselves in situations and they don't know how to get out of it. You were lucky because you know what? You're courageous because you could have been a coward and said, I'm gonna stay here and this is just how it's gonna be. But you knew it was a better life for you. And I am so proud of you. I think we're all proud of you because we wouldn't have this Christmas album. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have Love and War. I wouldn't have Logan. Do you realize how important this is?
There's other women out there that need to hear this.
Awesome.
There's other women out there that look up to you and need to know that they're not alone, that you are where they are. Look at them.
You see this? You got all these people out here that like you and know that you deserve to be here. You are awesome.
We
and
all
you were
know
supposed to get out that situation. You had the courage to do it. And that's why we are on this show. Yes, we may break down, we may cry, but we cry because these are real stories. We are real. We are not fake women.
Amen. Amen.
There is somebody out
You
there
are so
watching.
strong for doing this because a lot of women are ashamed. They don't want to tell their stories, but you told her you got out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't get out, and you got out.
Yep.
So thank you for getting out. This
shows that
is
you
going to
can
help
get out.
somebody today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You can get out.
Absolutely.
You can get out.
get
I
out.
promise you, if you're in a bad situation, please get out. Do not do that to yourself, to your children, to your family. Like she said, her family, you can't get out. Okay, now I got to fix my makeup.
Right.